Well, I just found out that they're canceling Nikki Black's Metal Zone, which is kind of like there's so many shitty shows out there. Why are they canceling this one? So, I mean, I know she works for the alcohol industry and I guess the animal agriculture industry as well. So, you know, I think that those two, aspects of culture have a lot to do with it. There's certainly two elements that plague the metal industry, the metal culture. They're just metal, and I mean, she works for animal rights too. I mean, she has a dog, and she's like cool. Like it's like it's just well, she's like in the borderlands, because she works for the alcohol industry where I mean, I work for the alcohol industry in a way that they don't. I don't. It's like I don't really work for the alcohol industry. I don't really, but like for any but for all intents and purposes. But I actually, in a way where it's like, okay, we should turn the alcohol into fuel. I mean, non-alcoholic beer is fine, and there's no reason. I mean, it's definitely a great alternative for somebody who drinks all the time where maybe a caring friend also doesn't want to be an enabler but wants to be there for them. Well, drinking water is probably the best thing to drink, because non-alcoholic beer still gives like cues, like drinking cues. Like you know if somebody is like sitting in a window and they're drinking non-alcoholic beer, you're not going to be able to tell the difference really, you know um but unless you get like technical or something. But drinking water is going to be, look more like water. Like a glass of water is going to look more like water than, um, you know, a glass of vodka or something. Especially if it's like in some kind of, you know, well, something sort of distinct. But that's kind of going technical in another way. But I mean, drinking alcohol is just like causes disease. Is like the only way of putting it. I mean, I think there's things that like magicians do, perhaps, where, well, maybe not magicians, but like actors, or like, you know, where they pretend to drink. But I think, I've seen that in entertainment and stuff. But I think when they don't even have, I've seen people do it with an empty wine glass, for example, without any actual alcohol present, and I think that is way more attractive and healthy than, actually some I've seen people use a bottle of alcohol, without actually drinking it as to pretend like they were drinking. And the shitty thing about it was that they were actually offering it to other people that I think that, they offered to me that I didn't, accept, but I think they may have let me, so I think there's people who allow people to drink to treat them dirty, but I think it's kind of, you know, maybe hopefully it's only going through some kind of stages where perhaps they treated people worse than that and you know, they're like getting off of it, and at least it's something that's kind of neutral, but it has the potential to be a lot worse. And there's a lot of things that, that go on that, but that are like that. But anyways, um so but I mean it seems to be like the story of Hansel and Gretel where, there's this house that, they make it look really attractive. They make drinking look really attractive, but it causes disease. So, they're making money off people who are, who people who consume alcohol, and they make money off that, and then the people, are each sip, it's like a certain amount of disease that you're incurring. It's like you have like it's like you have a little you know meter here, in your window of life of your existence. You have like a meter, and it's like how much disease. Um, each time you drink, it's like the meter goes up. About how much disease you're recovering, and sometimes you don't drink and you like recover, you heal, it goes down, but there's always going to be like scar tissue. I mean, because what it does is kind of like chemically damages. It's like a solvent. Like what's in alcohol is ethanol, and it's a solvent, and it's like burns away your skin basically and causes cancer. But it does the same thing to your organs, and it causes it like your kidneys, your liver, um, your stomach, basically anything it comes in contact with, it causes damage to, because it's like like burning something. If I take like a lighter and I have this piece of Palo Santo wood, wherever I light it, it's going to be burned. So I mean that's what ethanol, what's in alcohol, does to organic matter. And you can tell if you have like grease, it works as like a degreaser. So a lot of tissuey type stuff is like, you know is it has, there's like oil. You have like oil and tissue, and it kind of eats away through it basically, and your organs and stuff. But even just a little bit, it causes scar tissue, and it 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 might do some other stuff as well. But it's it's how much you drink. But even a little bit is, it's not going to kill you, but it's it's just taking away from your quality of life is what it's doing. you know and I mean those kinds of things is just, it's like it's not even really something you want to mess with. Like when you wake up and you see what it is, it's like something you want to like turn away from. So I mean that's what that is. And I mean it's just like there are these houses that serve those interests, and it's not like they're like they're unconscionable sort of houses, that are just sort of run unchecked, and are like the manifestations of like a conscientious like social disease. I mean, they don't have a conscious, but they're like aware. So I mean, they're like beasts. It's like a beast basically, like a really like vicious, like a rabid beast more than anything, because it has like a real rabid nature, and it's not even really fair to animals. It's not an animal. It's like a machine. So I'll elaborate.